Hello, I'm Emma, and welcome to Books I'm Unhauling. So these are books I either hated, I don't need anymore, or I just don't want, and they serve no purpose being on my shelf. So let's start off first with Babyville by Jane Green. I read it back in November, and I don't know, I gave this like 1.5 stars. I don't need this. Didn't enjoy it. Next up, I was feeling a bit nostalgic one day and was like, it's a little free library at this park I'm at. Let's see what books are in there. Well, found one of these. I found Lauren the Puppy Fairy from the Rainbow Magic series. I used to read this series like a ton when I was little. So, I read it. It's like water damaged. I don't know. I could probably put it back in a different little library. No harm, no foul. It's definitely not made for me anymore. I'll say that. Here's a student's dictionary. I don't need it because I already have a different one. Don't need two. Next up, I don't think you can even read that because it's light pink. It's white on light pink. So this is Hunter and Violet by Willow Winters. I'm pretty sure it's Promise Me. Yeah, this is Promise Me by Willow Winters. It's the discreet version. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it. It just has like no plot and the romance is not well written and I can't believe these people exist. I've got My Life is a Weapon. It's a comic volume. It's the first of the Hawkeye one, but I don't need it because I already have another one. This was a mistake just ordering it when it was my birthday and somebody already bought it from me and I got it from a different person, so that's another oopsie moment, but now I have two and I don't need two, so I'm hauling one of these. Next up, Red Queen. I gave this book 3 stars, and honestly, I think I'm being generous. I'll say that out of the whole Red Queen series, this is the best book. All the other ones suck. If you're really interested in this book, read this book, and then if you don't like it, then don't read any of the other books. It's not worth it. I gave like the rest of the series like under 2 stars, like 2 stars and below. Personally, not really enjoyable. I read this for a book club. None of us liked it. So, unfortunately, yeah, this is gonna go bye-bye off my shelf. Next up, this isn't a book I hated, but it's Caraval. I love this book. The only reason I'm unhauling it is because I'm getting a different copy that is striped, because I like the striped covers better. They don't match on my shelf, so I'd rather have Caraval be striped too than have a mismatch. These are all the books I'm unhauling. So let's get on to some of the books I'm looking forward to read this year that I have on my shelf presently that I want to read in the future, like pretty soon. If I don't read them this year, then I don't know what I'm doing. To start it off, we have Wit from Luke of With Love. I have been looking for this book forever and I finally got it for my birthday. I can never remember the actual way the words go. I know what words are in this title, but I don't know in which order. Yeah, so I struggle to say this title every single time I go and say, hey, I want to read that book, and then I just can't. But I'm excited for this. It's a chunky boy. I didn't think it would be like 500 something pages, but it is. This would be my first Mariana Zapata book, and I'm very excited, like super excited. Next up, we have Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, or Ali, I don't know. But I have The Love Hypothesis, and I like that book. That was like the first contemporary romance book I read. So hopefully I'll like this book. I know that Hazelwood is sort of hit or miss a lot with the romance. It's on my list. I'm gonna read it. Next up, we have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Oh my gosh. So I also have a book, People We Meet on Vacation. I like that book too. Emily Henry apparently is a really good author. I only have one book to reference. Hopefully I like it. I think I will. I think it'd be pretty hard to miss considering I don't really know anything about romance. You look at my bookshelf and like a majority of it is fantasy. So the next book I do not have, but I will get it. Like, mark my words, I will get it and I will read it. And that is Heartstopper number 5. You wanna know why? Because I have all the other Heartstopper books here and I even have Solitaire. I don't know, I'm just excited to read this because like I think Alice Oseman has been hitting with all of these books. I think it'd be pretty hard to miss. Except we don't talk about Solitaire, but the graphic novels, she's been hitting with those. So that's one of the books I'm most excited for. Next up, we've got the Crescent City series. The Crescent City series. I mean, look at these chonkers. They're so big. I think it might be bigger than Kingdom of Ash. I don't know. That book was also a chunker, but these are even bigger, and there's 2 of them, and there's about to be 3. And I spent like a whole 30 minutes decompressing the spine for when I actually get around to reading it. It's a monster, and I'm scared. And then if I end up liking this, I have this book. Even if I don't like this book, I think I'm forcing myself to read this book, and maybe the 3rd book, because, I mean, it would suck to have it on my shelf for months and then not even read it. Next up, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart. I love Carnival. I love that series. I'm excited for this, and guess what? I already have tab colors picked out, because I'm going to tab it, because, you know, I'm getting into tabbing, because I tabbed Six of Crows, and I like tabbing that, so I'm going to try to tab other books. Which brings me to my next book, The Secret History. I already have tabs picked out for this. I tried to find a purple. You can't even see that yellow, but I tried to find a purple that would match the back cover. I didn't do a very good job. You know, it works. No one cares. No one notices. It's for me. It's for me. And speaking of tabbing Six of Crows, I'm excited to read Crooked Kingdom. I may not be the biggest fan of Shadow and Bone, but I like Six of Crows, so like, there's a 2nd book. It's a duology. Next up, Shatter Me. I mean, I only have the 1st book, and there's like a lot of books in the series. There's 6, I think. And then plus, what is it? 3 or 4 novellas? Oh my gosh, I've heard good things about this. My friend was texting me while she was reading it, so like I know stuff about the series that I probably shouldn't know. I mean, what could go wrong with some dystopian-ish YA book? We're here. We're chilling. We're chilling. Don't worry. Don't worry. Dance of Thieves. I'm here for the enemies to lovers. I'm here. This is also sort of a chunker, but like I've read, I think, more pages. I think From Look Up With Love might be more pages than this, but I think that this is actually thicker. Let me see. I think that this is actually thicker than that. This one's bigger, but it's less pages. I don't know what kind of super serum they put in it. Next up, we got the Gilded series by Marissa Meyer. These are the biggest books I have on my shelf. What the heck? Who made them this tall? Like, next to any other series, I think the only other book that can compare is Wicked. And this is paperback. Like, check this out. That's huge. 1 for a paperback, 2 for a hardcover. Like, I don't know what they're feeding hardcovers books these days, but they should stop. These are getting too big. Funny story about these books. I actually bought this book first, the 2nd in the series, and that's because it's signed. I saw this signed. I'm like, I like Marissa Meyer. Maybe I should get it. So I got it and then realized that it's the 2nd book in the series. You know, I had to go buy the 1st book. Oopsie on my part. We got If We Were Villains. Book talk book. Gotta read. This one, Sadie, want to read because I want to cry. These 2 are books that are just gonna sit together on the shelf for an unknown amount of time, and if I want to read them, I'll read them. You might be seeing videos of them out there, of me reading them, so excited. Here are some honorable mentions. All my Star Wars books that I've either started reading and haven't finished, or just haven't read, but I really want to read, and I just haven't gotten around to it, so. We got 3 Thrawn books of 3 different trilogies. We have a High Republic book, and we have a Star Wars, but Shakespeare. Good thing it's only the chunky book. Honorable mentions go to ACOTAR and Cinder, because I've already read them, but you know, I have the physical versions now, so I might as well read them too. Some more honorable mentions. We got Kane Chronicles, the 1st book, and Magnus Chase, the 2nd book. Just haven't gotten around to reading them. I don't know if I will this year or anytime soon, but you know, they're on my shelf waiting to be read. Another honorable mention I'm less excited to mention is The House of Seven Gables by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Yeah, this is also another little library find. It's giving school book vibes, so I might never read it, but it's a classic, so you know, maybe it's smart if I read it. Here are some books that are also on the honorable mentions, but just have been sitting on my shelf for forever, and I need to crank them out to see whether I want to keep them or not, and that is Betrothed, Dividing Eden. Got them at the same time at half price books, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this then. Same author I liked. This I know nothing about, so I don't know why I bought it. It was a mistake. But, you know, I gotta get through it to see if I want to eventually haul it. I'm rolling my eyes. Yet another little library find is this book. I've never read Twilight. This is the second book, New Moon. Another little library find that I may never read. I don't know. Do I want to read Twilight? Is it worth putting myself through that? I don't really know. What do you think? Another honorable mention. It's Ruin and Rising. I probably should read this book before I continue on to Crooked Kingdom. I know. I've read the first two Shadow and Bone books and then Six of Crows. I should probably be reading this first. Like, I probably should have read this before starting Six of Crows. But, you know, I didn't. And I sort of want to grasp the story a little bit better in this universe, the Grishaverse. So I probably should read it. So, yeah, I think that's all my books. I'm gonna hope I get through all of them this year. I mean, I have like 34 books on my physical to be read shelf on Goodreads. These are books so far that I don't want to read. I mean, it is, yay.